Our first sale was my best memory. Right, we were in the kitchen. I was out front. The kitchen was just behind out front, and I heard a cha-ching, and I've never heard that before. What the fuck is that? I was like, and I can't remember. Again, it's very broad. I think I said to you, "Is that my phone, Reese?" And you said, "No, it's mine." Or I didn't say that, and I just said, "What's that, Reese?" It was something across those lines. Reese was like, "We've made this sale." And what was it? I think it was like 20, 30 quid. It was something like that. Probably not even 20 quid. And we're celebrating and we're shouting like Wi-Fi money in the kitchen. And we're going on like we fucking just won £1 million. And you know, it was just a feeling of learning something, putting all this work in, and then seeing the first person purchase.
Yeah, that is.
But the best thing is we're at work. We're not sat on the laptop. We're not on our phones. We're not doing anything. And someone's just purchased from us.
Yeah.
Right. And that was like, wow.
Here's a quick idea on how to stand out, because this might benefit hopefully everybody that watches this. So if you're currently looking at your store and thinking like, oh shit, yeah, that is pretty generic, that's why I'm not making sales, the easiest way to stand out, and this helps you with marketing, this helps you with your brand and makes your products actually look 10 times more premium, is get rid of the generic fucking titles of your products. So one of the brands that we've launched is obviously the insulin or the GL1 medication, medical grade fridges and stuff like that. If we use the same titles as an example, they would have been professional medical insulin fridge, or portable medical cooler and stuff like that. It's so generic. Yeah. So what we've done is obviously we put the brand's name in front of it, and we've given them different titles. So we've got one that's called the Titan. We've got one that's called what are they called? The Titan. We've got the Go as well, which is a fully portable one. And we've got a few different names. So the whole concept of the back of that was like, when you look at, let's say, Apple as an example, a great example. You look at the iPhones. You've got the iPhone SE. You've got the iPhone Pro. You've got the iPhone Pro Max. They're just adding these titles. Like when you look at an iPhone, Pro is essentially a shorter version for professional. iPhone Professional, like it generally wouldn't really make sense. All the phones are professional, but they're adding these names because it sounds good and it rolls off good. Same with if you were to look at like Sonos, their speakers, Sonos 1, Sonos 5, all of that. They add those names because it makes the product feel and sound a lot more premium. So whatever current list you've got of products on your store for the people watching this, how can you add different names to them? If you can do that, your product list will look so much better.
The best investment we've ever made in business is that transition, and we see that a lot with members. Members come in and they join the inner circle and they go, do you know what? I want to go in minimal risk in my first business. I want to start with this. I want zero outlay. Reese, shout out to yourself. Incredible job with the members right now with the whole print on demand, exclusive suppliers. Nobody else has access to. You've got it. You're giving it to the members, and they've got zero outlay. And they basically got a private labeled product, right? With zero outlay. So, when they transition into actually ordering the stock, once they've built up a 5-figure a month income, whatever, that will be the best investment they've ever made, besides joining us and learning the skill and getting themselves around us. Welcome back. So let's talk about what makes you stand out in 2026. Now, the first thing we should start with here is building a generic dropshipping store. It doesn't work. 12 years ago, we could jump online, build a dropshipping store, offer a bad customer service, 4 to 6 weeks shipping time, and still generate 6 figures a month. In this day and age, people want faster shipping times. Customer support is more important than it's ever been. The reviews behind your brand and your store is more important than it's ever been. So the generic way of dropshipping is dead. But dropshipping still works. And we see members. In fact, I had a member on one of my live webinars recently, 50K in the last 30 days. Shout out to Scott Thompson.
Wow.
50K in the last 30 days, dropshipping business model, because he understands what makes his business stand out in 2026, which is good customer reviews, good customer support, faster shipping times, and having a brand, not just a store. Mm-hmm. Incredible.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the key points, that nowadays a lot of people buy into the brand itself. And that's definitely how I shop. Like, I buy into like a brand that catches my eye, but then I read about their brand story and I buy into the people. A lot of people put themselves out there. They don't just hide behind their brand anymore. Like, if you go on their social media, it'll be them talking about the whole story behind building that brand and why that product, like what they've put into it from their personal experiences. And I love supporting businesses like that. And I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, I think when you look back, Reese, like when you go back 12 years ago, there wasn't really such as a thing of like a branding expert, right? When you go back 12 years ago, it was logo, name, build your store, forget the shipping times, sell products that people want, and they buy the products.
Yeah.
I think Amazon Prime come in and just completely changed the game, right? They come in with the Prime, the next day shipping, and there was this massive hype around, wow, I can order now and get it next day in the US, in a lot of states, same day shipping. And that really kind of set the boundaries, right, for e-commerce. And that really changed the game. Now we've seen that hype die down a little. Consumers are now more, they're more acceptable around 3 to 5 days shipping time, which works really well still. So I think, you know, going back to branding not being huge back in the day in e-commerce, now it's everything, because it's the brand that really makes you stand out in 2026. It's that really separates you from everybody else, because you're getting a lot of newbies online. You get messages every day talking about, can you look at my store? They're not members. They just watch the YouTube video. And then you look at their store and there's no branding. It's just a logo and a name. It's the shit we was doing 12 years ago. So whilst all these guys are making the same noise, the easy way to stand out is you just make a different type of noise. You build a brand, not a store, right? Which are two completely different things. That's why we have a dedicated branding expert, because if anything, that's probably the most important role in our team is the branding expert, because that sets the tone in terms of what you're going to make online. It's your brand that is going to determine whether you're going to make £1,000 a month or £100,000 a month. It's the brand that makes you stand out.
I think that all shows as well how much things have advanced, because like going back 12 years ago, it was acceptable and you could build a successful brand if you jumped onto, let's say, Fiverr and hired someone to create you a logo. You give them a name, they create you a logo, and then you build a store based around that, and you would make sales. People
£4.50.
Yeah, £4.50, some cash back on top of that. Lovely job. But like in this day and age now, the branding is one of the most important parts of a business, and it's kind of like a giant jigsaw. If you miss one of the pieces or you don't put it right, it's not going to work, essentially. And I think generic dropshipping is dying, if not, it's died already, because there's a lot of people buy into brands right now. So the thing to be mainly focused on is how to be different. So like what you're saying, instead of building just a store where you're the same as everybody else, it's just a waste of time, it's a waste of money. So you need to look at things, how can you be different? Like right now there's, you know, the cosmetics industry, supplement industry, that they're worth billions, and they're growing, and there's always brands every single day, new brands coming out. So it's a case of, well, how can we be different? You know, because a lot of people have a passion in supplements, a lot of people take them, same with cosmetics. How would you be different? So the first step is looking at, who do you want to target? Who's your ideal target audience? And then off the back of that, if you're looking at products that are already out there and you're looking at, you know, competitors where they're kind of selling everything already, the main thing that people, as an example, one way of being different, the main thing that people don't look at is, well, instead of selling just another product in the same niche as everybody else, why don't we sell something like more of a protocol, as an example? So when you're looking at cosmetics or you're looking at supplements, instead of selling, you know, oh, we've got creatine and R1's, you know, 90% natural and, you know, it's organic and stuff like that. Instead of that, sell a protocol, sell a ritual or something like that, where in the morning you take an AM version, midday you have something else to pick you up, then in the evening you've got the PM version. So it's kind of, people are, you know, happy to spend more because they're buying something that isn't just something you can jump on Amazon and buy. Amazon is very, in the way that they sell stuff, it's very generic. You jump on there, you search for something, you buy it, you get it next day most of the time. With brands out there, it's slightly a bit more in depth, but being able to build a successful business in this day and age, you have to be different. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. Anyone out there, give them 10 hours and a laptop with a full battery, you could probably build a Shopify store. Is it going to work? Hell no. There's so much to it. And I think there's even down to like having a personalized shopping experience. So I was working with one of our members a couple of weeks ago. Really want to do hair regrowth serums and stuff like that. But the issue is it's generic. Like, you know, I can jump on Amazon and buy 10 different types within a few minutes. You can jump online on Google, search for it. It can be hundreds of brands. So the different concepts that we're currently looking at is, as an example, let's use a random person called Dave. Dave jumps on the store. He's going bald. He's in a midlife crisis. He wants to restore his hair. So with this brand will hold you accountable. So, setting up back end, all your emails, all your SMSs, WhatsApps, whatever you want to do. The second Dave buys the hair regrowth protocol, as an example, every single day for 30 days or however long that protocol is, he receives an email. Hey, Dave, make sure you use your serum before bed tonight. Yeah. Constant emails. With Klaviyo, the Shopify app, you can actually see who opens and who doesn't opens the emails. So if someone misses 2 emails or 3 emails in a row, you then contact them on WhatsApp and you go, Dave, do you want your hair back or not? As the title, because you're going to see that and be like, what? It's a different experience, and no one offers that side of things. True. And it's so easy to do. You can sit there a few hours in the evening and set that all up. So there's so many different ways of
I think it's important what you're saying there, how you resonate with your target audience, right? So understanding their pain points and their issues, and then building your whole brand around the avatar. So it's number 1, your avatar. Number 2, how we build our brand around that avatar, how we resonate with that avatar, and how we solve their problems, right? And I think if you can put that together, whether our branding expert, if you're a member or you're a non-member, and you really study how to build a brand from top to bottom, that's going to make you the difference compared to someone selling, some kind of red light therapy product versus you saying, look, come on the journey with us. Yeah. We're going to help you on this journey. You're not just going to receive a product. You're also going to receive structure with the product, and we'll also hold you accountable. Yeah. People buy into the journey and the outcome, not necessarily just a product. So that is one way of many ways.
There's hundreds.
I've done that, but you both agree, like standing out is really simple to do.
Yeah,
it's just understanding, how do I stand out? Where we live in a world with so many generic Shopify drop shipping stores, even white label stores, looks generic. They're just putting a brand on a product, bulk ordering, and trying to sell the product the exact same way as everybody else. It's like, well, let's switch this up a little bit. This is why I'm a massive fan of private and not white label. White label's great.
Here's a quick idea on how to stand out, because this might benefit hopefully everybody that watches this. So if you're currently looking at your store and thinking like, shit, yeah, that is pretty generic, that's why I'm not making sales, the easiest way to stand out, and this helps you with marketing, this helps you with your brand and makes your products actually look 10 times more premium, is get rid of the generic fucking titles of your products. So one of the brands that we've launched is obviously the insulin or the GL1 medication, medical grade fridges and stuff like that. If we use the same titles, as an example, they would have been professional medical insulin fridge, or portable medical cooler and stuff like that. It's so generic. Yeah. So what we've done is obviously we put the brand's name in front of it, and we've given them different titles. So we've got one that's called the Titan. We've got one that's called what are they called? The Titan. We've got the Go as well, which is a fully portable one. And we've got a few different names. So the whole concept of the back of that was like, when you look at, let's say, Apple as an example, a great example, you look at the iPhones, you've got the iPhone SE, you've got the iPhone Pro, you've got the iPhone Pro Max. They're just adding these titles. Like when you look at an iPhone, Pro is essentially a shorter version for professional. iPhone Professional, like it generally wouldn't really make sense. All the phones are professional, but they're adding these names because it sounds good and it rolls off good. Same with if you were to look at like Sonos, their speakers, Sonos 1, Sonos 5, all of that. They add those names because it makes the product feel and sound a lot more premium. So whatever current list you've got of products on your store for the people watching this, how can you add different names to them? If you can do that, your product list will look so much better with that.
They're buzzwords, and buzzwords carry weight. And you look at words like, we've had members use the word bespoke quite often, whether they're selling furniture, whether they're selling any type of product. When they add the word bespoke just carries so much weight behind it. So yeah, of course, again, you've got members who sell products, and they'll do like a blue and a black version, and they'll call the black version the dark edition, right?
Yeah,
it's black, right? It should say color black, but they call it the dark edition because when you look at things, you're like, wow, the dark edition, that looks cool. You get it on cars. You look at cars and you look at, you think that the Audi we've got is the black edition. It just sounds great. It could just say it has black accents.
Yeah.
But it don't carry the same weight.
Space grey is a big one people use.
Yeah. So again, little things like that, the buzzwords, they carry weight.
Yeah.
And again, you'll go to a competitor's and you'll see all the competitors doing the same. Choose your color, blue, black, white, where you could have, lightning blue, right? The lightning blue edition, the dark edition, right? And then you could have another. And it just seems more premium. It's more attractive than just going, you could get it in white and blue. That's more Amazon style, right? White, blue, black, red.
Generic.
Where you can really, exactly. And you can and even down to the packaging, if it was like called lightning blue, right? The lightning blue edition on the packaging, you'd have lightning going through it. And it just, but the bottom line is the color's blue.
Yeah.
But that's how you can stand out from competitors. You just add these little buzzwords that you're talking about. You customize the packaging. So you switch out the packaging. It's super cheap. Everything we're talking about right here is literally just the basics of building a 7-figure brand in 2026, a 7-figure business. Yeah. Little things.
With branding as well, a lot of people look at branding like, oh, packaging's such a big investment. It's going to cost, hundreds of dollars, or it's going to cost thousands and stuff like that. Probably a lot of people watching this right now, if you actually reach out to your suppliers on AliExpress where you're dropping from, for them to create stickers to put on your products, it's actually free of charge. They'll do that for free. So they'll actually put stickers of your brand onto your products.
Well, we've got a member in the UK at the moment using a UK-based supplier. We've got so many members using UK-based suppliers right now. And the UK-based supplier he's using is going to customize his packaging for free.
Yeah.
And it isn't a sticker. It's actual printed for free. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
Fast UK shipping, customized packaging. So nobody else has this packaging. Talk about stand out.
Yeah.
And then his brand on top of that within the store, insane. But it's the most simple methods combined compound effect that just wow. But the bottom line is, if you used to take the products, you take the naked product and you put them beside each other, they're basically the same product. But your perception on the stores are completely different. That's some cheap shit that I've seen a million times, and this is something special. This looks incredible. And it's just the way people perceive your brand. And the way people perceive stores and businesses in 2026 is completely different to 12 years ago. Where you go, oh, this pet store looks amazing, and you're using stock images and basic marketing, and there's shitty reviews on there, and people just buy because I'm shopping online. It's a trend. I shop online. Where do you shop? And now it's kind of like people are so overwhelmed with the amount of products that are getting thrown at them every single day. You go on YouTube, you get ads before video. You then get to the video, you got another 4 ads to walk through, and people selling you something all the time.
That's Amazon's fault, a lot of that as well, because Amazon is so generic, and it's like faceless. There's Amazon Choice, like that always comes above everything, and it's always a lot cheaper than everything on there. And you just end up being like, oh yeah, I need that phone charger. I'll just get Amazon's Choice one. And they've started all of this where you wouldn't buy something generic off a store because you can go on Amazon, find it generic and get it the next day. But if you saw something that looked different and exactly what you guys are saying, the buzzwords and standing out and the branding, you would think about it at least, and a lot of people would then buy. I would I'd buy into brands. I'm a bit of a sucker for a good brand.
It's also, I think the content is one of the key parts here as well. So one of the dropshipping stores that I had, so I was struggling to sell a product for about $60, really struggling. People coming through, and the conversion rate just was not there. So most people at that point would be like, oh, let me lower the price and stuff like that. So the way that I did that was increase the price, complete opposite. So we started selling it for $120, put the price up. But the only thing we changed apart from the price was the actual content. So I spent a lot of time in AI, really trying to create premium, really good looking pictures to really show off the product. That is now making consistent sales from that. So instead of selling a cheap generic product, the images now actually showcase the great USPs of the product, and people are happy to pay double the price than what it just looked like before.
Because it's visually appealing now.
That's it.
And AI content's more accessible than ever, because there's so many people with the skill of AI now that you could go onto somewhere like Fiverr, do a little bit of due diligence, go, right, this guy looks incredible. He showed me some of his work. I need 10 videos, 10 images of this product. And people would go ahead and go away and build that for you for not an expensive price at all. So, or you could just learn the skill, or if you're a member, jump on Reese's weekly workshops that he does, and he'll show you how to do it for free. And go and create high quality content. Again, in terms of opportunity, it's the biggest opportunity we've lived in. You never had this 12 years ago. We would be, I need a photographer. I need, we need to,
out.
let's get a studio. Let's go down. Oh, it's sunny on Thursday. It's going to be good lighting. Let's go to the field. Let's get our camera. And
or you pay. Do you remember the hair straighteners brand that we're doing like 5 years ago or something? We paid for one animated video. It was like 500 and something quid just for like a fucking 15-20 second video for that. Now that video, like using the likes of AI, 2 minutes, 3 minutes,
and it'll be 10 times better.
10 times better.
Yeah,
and you can constantly change it as well. So I think this part is kind of like diving into like the future of e-commerce as well, because AI content is driving it into such different avenues, and you're seeing a lot of brands. So when you look at things like Dyson is a great brand that are smashing it. When you go to their website, 95% of their content is now AI. And this is Dyson. This is a $1 billion brand, and they just focus on AI content. And the reason a lot of brands are shifting to that is because, one, you no longer need teams of photographers, teams of editors and stuff like that. So from a business perspective, we can save, God knows, 6 figures, if not 7 figures every single year. We don't need those people anymore. But the main benefit from that is, going back to like what I said, swapping up the images, you can get a much better output with it. In terms of like the content that you can generate with AI, you can really focus on the best parts of the product. You can enhance it. You can make your product look good. A little example of that is like if we touch on like McDonald's, you walk into their shops, or you see an ad at a bus stop or something like that. How good do their burgers look? When did you ever have one of them?
Ever.
And that's all AI. It's all fake. It's not real. But people look at that and they're like, oh, that looks so good. You get it, and it's like lettuces. You open the box, it's pinging everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
But that's unethical, right? That's not. I'm not
true.
saying, right,
don't
guys.
do that.
Well,
grab yourself a shit product and just make it look incredible, and change the size of it and the dimensions and the battery life, and go and sell it.
That's McDonald's.
Don't do that type of marketing. But that is all about visuals, right? And again, I think like when you look into the future of e-commerce, I think it's also important to touch on how in danger most people are because of things like AI, right? Because obviously AI, it's still very early on. You can see AI, it's so faulty in so many ways. I can give you many examples. I'm having an issue at the moment because of AI. But AI is taking over, and there's no, you can hide away from it. You can not listen to podcasts or scroll past things on your feed that show you how you could be jobless in 5-10 years. You look at all of these big companies, and you look at Amazon. It was only a year ago they let off 800,000 employees in one day. They all went into work, and they're like, no, you ain't got a job. And there's robots walking around carrying the parcels, doing their work for them, right? They're more efficient. They work 24 hours a day. They don't argue back, and they get on with it, right? And they save 8-9 figures a year in staffing costs. They reckon in 10 years or 10 years from now, all trucks in the UK and the US will be self-driving. So I know we're coming away from e-commerce a little bit here, but I think it's important that you understand you either use technology and AI to your advantage, where you make money, big money, and you're part of the future, or you'll get destroyed by AI and you'll get left behind. You look at all of these big companies like Meta, who are fully automating their systems with AI. It's very hard to get in touch with a human. Let me know if when's the last time you spoke to a human in Meta, right? One of the biggest companies in the world. You look at all of these platforms. We were on Revolut trying to talk about a transaction. Oh, guess what? We're speaking to AI. And AI is not there yet. I don't care what anybody says. It's not there yet. The amount of issues that people are having on these massive platforms that are using incredible AI, and AI just can't fix what humans are fixing, right? They're getting everything wrong. Not everything, but a lot of stuff they're getting wrong. Basics you would expect AI to get correct. So we're not there yet. But AI is great for things like product descriptions. It's great. You know more than anybody else.
More support systems where AI is lacking, and I'm sure everyone has been through this, where you're stuck in a cycle of AI just coming back to you and saying, I understand that you're looking to do this, but then they don't actually tell you how you can do that, and it just drives you mad. So I think that side of things has got a long way to go. And definitely for people with stores, you want to do your own customer support because you want to give that good experience. AI definitely can help you in a lot of areas, like while building your store. But that bit is iffy at the moment.
I saw a documentary. Haven't watched it all, being honest. I watched about 20 minutes, and it was showing high streets in the UK 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and now. Wow.
It's sad.
All because of technology, not AI, because of technology, right? It's so fucking sad. 20 years ago, Christmas time, the high streets are rammed. Everyone's got bags and everyone's, loving
it's sad,
life.
But we're all part of that problem why the stores are dying, because we've got online stores. So,
but that's because we can see where the money is
going.
The money is no longer. Yeah, money's no longer on your high streets. Money, they're just, when you go down a high street, it's the same shit. It's a Greg's, it's a Next. If you're in a if you're in a poor area, then there's gambling shops and there's all of this shit. It's no longer what it used to be, right? So we pivoted. We realized, okay, if we're going to go into business, I don't want to go into a business where it's dying, right? Where people are struggling. How does that make sense? I might as well just stay as an employee. If I'm going to go into business, we want to go into something that's growing. And when you look at the future and where people are going, well, online, not just e-commerce, anything, whether it's streaming, whether it's podcasts, right? You no longer want to try and get on TV. You want to create your own successful YouTube channel to do podcasts.
See, I think the issue with that, though, as well, like, I agree with what you're saying, but I do think the issue with that is it isn't the technology, it's actually the people. Because, like, there's a lot of people out there that, and comfort zones will come into this as well, because, like, if you've got a store on the high street, you can't expect to sell the same fucking shit for 20 years, right? Honestly, it's not going to work. Like, it might work for a few years, fantastic, unless you're a Greg's. Obviously, everyone expects, what you're going to sell. But there's so many, like British home stores, as an example, that used to be, everyone used to love that. They're gone because they just couldn't keep up, because they're selling the same stuff that, and with the likes of Amazon, as an example, you can get everything probably half price, fast delivery. So it's like, why are people going in there? But with British home stores, they never decided to change anything up. They never wanted to lower their prices. They'd rather go into administration. And it's like, not even big companies, like during COVID was like the final hammer in that coffin, because like businesses were struggling already. COVID came around, wiped the people off the street. They're screwed. There's nothing there. And it is sad, because like a lot of the, like, brands that we all know, that we all used to love and stuff like that, that was it. There's nothing they can do. But even now, like, we're out of COVID, like, the economy is, however you want to look at it, I think it's pretty good. People are spending money in stores, online stores and stuff like that. But when you walk down these high streets that are struggling, where 50% of the shops are shut down, you look at the remainder of the 50% that are there, and a few more years, another 20% of them will be gone, because they're just selling stuff. Like, you walk in there's shops that I've been in, I'm looking around thinking, like, how are you open? Like, who's coming in here and buying this stuff? Do you know what I mean? One, it's probably overpriced. Two, it's probably just like, people don't want this stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think when you look at the day and age we live in, everything is about convenience. We live in a world of convenience, right? So if something can give you convenience, then you're willing to pay more. But the benefits of online and e-commerce, and the future of e-commerce, is you're not only getting convenience, it's cheaper. Right? So there's no way, there's no USP that any retail shop can have that can beat an e-com store. There will be people watching this podcast go, well, I disagree, there'll be this and that. But I disagree with anything that they're going to say, because people want the cheapest price, right? I'm not saying they don't want quality. They want quality, but they also want the cheapest price for quality, but they want convenience, right? I only said to my mum yesterday that, which is your mum.
Yeah, we share the same mum, right?
But I was looking at Tami, that's why I said my mum.
Awkward.
Yeah, cut. And I was saying, all you need to do is go into places like Norwich, right? Go into your city, and you're going to see, watch the amount of Just Eat drivers. Look at the Uber Eat drivers. What is that saying? Convenience.
Do you know what I saw on the way in? And I put it in my story. So anyone that's following me, you'll probably be like, oh yeah, Reese posted that, back then and stuff like that. So literally got to a junction just around the corner from here. And I've seen this since Christmas. I've only just sort of clocked it. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I need to record it, but I'm driving, so I can't. But pulled up at some traffic lights here. And obviously I'm waiting to chuck a left. And what do I see? One Amazon van drive past right behind it. another one. There's about 6 or 7 of them in a convoy. And I'm looking at that thinking like, people still have like the audacity to be like, e-commerce is a scam. I'm like, look at that. That's people ordering stuff online. Like, and I look at it and I'm just like, cool, business is going well. Like, that's the way I see it.
But again, then people always think that the people that think e-com is a scam always say anything's a scam, no much evidence you give them. But then looking at the future of going back to like the future of e-commerce, it's only growing, it's only getting bigger, right? Every year it beats the previous year. You can go and find the statistics for that. That shows you where the money is. So when people say, there's not money about people struggling, no, you're just in the wrong circles, right? You're hanging around in circles where there isn't any money. You're just in the wrong circles. You need to get yourself around in the circles where the money is, right? There's no money because you're around the wrong people. There's no money because you have the wrong skill set. If you put yourself in the right circles, like you said a second ago, Reese, people's views on the economy, you know, it's not doing great, everybody's struggling. Yeah, that's the narrative that they push. But I can guarantee you put yourself in the right circles, there is money everywhere. You know, I wake up every day and I'm looking at my network and there's one guy going, oh, anybody want to come along on this yacht? I'm traveling. I showed you this morning. I'm traveling on all the Greek islands for 7 days.
I'm off to Greece.
For 2 weeks. Tami's off for 2 weeks.
See you later.
Let's go party, Reese. And you know, he's cruising around on a cruise. He's going on a super yacht for 2 weeks around every single Greek island. He was like, "Does anybody want to come?" There's 7 cabins, 7 bedrooms, and he put pictures of a gym at the back of the yacht, swimming pool on the top of the yacht. So when you sit there and you go, "There's no money. There's more money than there's ever fucking been," but you're just in the wrong circles and you have the wrong skill set. You'll always be paid based on the skill set that you have. Right?
Yeah.
And the only security that you'll ever have is based on your network and the skill that you have. So I think it's important for anyone who wants to create a future that you get with something that actually has a future and not just do the same shit as everybody else. For me, if you go and open up a shop on a high street, that's not the future. The future is e-commerce.
That's I've got a great example of that as well. My old lash lady. So she had a little home salon. I'd go around, she'd do my eyelashes, and say the average price for maybe like an hour having your eyelashes done, maybe like 50, 60, like average. So she's capped. She's got children that she's with in the evening. So she's capped and she's got that many hours she can make this much money every week. I went for ages before even saying anything I did. And then one day she found my social media and she messaged me and she's like, "Oh my God, are you famous?" And then she's like, "I need to hear what you actually do." So then I explained everything. Anyway, she joined us. She had all these different product ideas because I think she was thinking, "Oh, I'll do something different." In the end, she went to what she knows, lashes. She's now quit her job as doing lashes. She supplies lashes to all the beauty salons in the area. They're in Spain as well now. They do like whole beauty rooms, like they can kit out a whole beauty room, and she's doing amazingly, let's put it that way. And
so good.
That's because she's obviously been around me and then thought, okay, I'll do that. She's with her kids all the time now. So she's gave herself freedom and a lot more money.
And you think overheads will now be minimal?
Yeah.
Right? You haven't got overheads. We could go over all the advantages, but it just shows you put yourself around the right people that understand what it takes to make money. You're going to make money, right? It's going to open your mind. I say this all the time, that as soon as a member comes through and they understand that there's a different way of making money, mission complete. Before we've even built a brand, a business, mission complete, right? I've opened your eyes. You can never delete that. That's in your head. You'll always know that there's more money over there. There's loads of money. You can change your life. Financial freedom's just over there. That's what I love, right?
Yeah.
Let's go over some of our biggest days, right? I know that's on the list to go through, so let's go through it. Our first £1,000 day, our first £10,000 month. Again, do you remember going into e-commerce and our goal was like, as long as we can replace our salary, going in with that small mindset, kind of replace our salary, as long as I'm not being bossed around every day and being spoken to like a piece of shit, and I can wake up when I want, go to bed when I want. But then again, just going back to our previous point, kind of ties in. As soon as we start putting ourselves around money, people that were making money, our goals quickly change from let's just replace our salaries to, well, actually, we could get to 10K a month, right? We could give mum and dad some money. We don't have to work a job. We can then create maybe a second business. And if we could do 10K from that business, we're now doing 20K. We could travel once a month. We could do what the fuck we want. There's nobody to tell us what to. That was very early on, right?
Yeah.
But you see how quickly our goal changed from replace our salary to, well, if we could do 10K a month, and it makes you, it really it builds that self-belief, and it makes you realize,
definitely.
fuck, he's doing it, so it's doable, and he's just a normal person,
Yeah.
right? But our first sale was my best memory, right? We were in the kitchen. I was out front. The kitchen was just behind out front, and I heard a cha-ching, and I've never heard that before. What the fuck is that? I was like, and I can't remember. Again, it's very broad. I think I said to you, "Is that my phone, Reese?" And you said, "No, it's mine." Or I didn't say that, and I just said, "What's that, Reese?" It was something across those lines. Reese was like, "We've made this sale." And what was it? I think it was like 20,
It wasn't
30
much.
quid.
It was,
It was something like that. Probably not even 20 quid. And we're celebrating and we're shouting like Wi-Fi money in the kitchen. And we're going on like we fucking just won £1 million. And it was just a feeling of learning something, putting all this work in, and then seeing the first person purchase.
Yeah, that is
But the best thing is we're at work. We're not sat on a laptop. We're not on our phones. We're not doing anything. And someone's just purchased from us.
Yeah.
Right. And that was like, wow. And of course, we experienced the eBay days like we were talking about earlier on in the podcast. We experienced the eBay days and we made money from there. We made decent money. So it was a bit of an eye-opener. Well, you can make money outside of a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
We were always told it's a scam, but we've done it. So it works. That first sale was like, wow. And then we'll skip all the boring stuff, but then it went, 5 sales, 10 sales, 20 sales. But our first £1,000 day, I remember watching that. I remember getting to about 800. I thought, I've got this gut feeling we're not going to do it. And then it went to 900, and I'm like,
see, I had a gut feeling. I was like, nah, there's going to be like 50% refunds here. It's like just not real, but that was incredible.
£1,000 in one day, and I'm not sure about you actually. I don't think I've ever asked you this, but I used to always compare the money to how many hours I would have had to work at my job.
Yeah.
So like if we did if we had like a £250 order come through, I'm like, I have to work 2 days for that, right? And I've just had a 250 quid order come through. Of course, we got cost per unit in that and everything. But I used to look at that and think, wow, 250 quid, the fuck. And I think it's about fine tuning the brain over a period of time. It isn't like somebody comes through and they just flick that switch and they're like, right, Wi-Fi money, I'm going to make all. I think over time, there's signals, right, to the brain. And I think you get all these little signals. Like you see people making money, that's a signal itself. You build your business, you make your first sale, that's another signal to the brain. I'm thinking it's a combination of all these signals that really starts to rewire the brain into thinking, well, do you know what? Fuck average. I don't want to be average. I want to make loads of money. And I don't think it's a flick of a switch or you just meet the right person. I think over a period of time, you start to rewire your brain by the content you consume, by the information that you consume, by the people that you hang around with. I think these things bring the results, which then starts to rewire the brain and how the brain thinks and how the brain perceives money.
Yeah.
Because people are so emotionally attached to money. And you think with us, people be looking at, well, if I did £1,000 a day, if I did my first 10K month like these guys did, the way they perceive money is probably going to be slightly different to how we perceive money because of the way our brain's been rewired. They'll perceive money in, well, if I got £10,000, I'll pay my finance. If I got £10,000, I'll go and book that holiday. Where if we look at £10,000, the way our brains have been rewired through business, we look at that £10,000 and go, right, if we make that £10,000, exactly. Yeah. Where do I invest that money to make more money?
Yeah.
Right. So £10,000, the first thing you think of when your brain isn't fully rewired the way it needs to be rewired to get to from 5 figures to 6 figures a month. And then it needs rewiring again to go from 6 figures to 7 figures a month to 8 figures to 9 figures. That comes over a period of time.
Yeah.
And that comes through experience. You make mistakes with money, right? You got some people that are less educated with money. They think they know about money. They don't know about money. And then you get people that understand money. They have no emotional attachment to money. It's a piece of paper that they print out of thin air, right? But why do they need your money if they can just print money? So when you start to really understand money, that's when you actually start to build wealth, right? And it's the people that use money to make money, not to spend money for short-term dopamine. Yeah. That's where you build wealth. But again, going back to the £1,000 a day, and then we hit our first 10K month. and we kept going before we quit our job.
Yeah.
We were like, we don't want to risk it too much yet. You know, we
You
were
two
learning.
wouldn't listen to me, actually. I kept saying,
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you think we've gone from, and this is why I completely get it with people that are interested in joining us, and I understand, I do understand that leap, but it's also so fucking hard when you understand the other side now.
Yeah,
Does that make
yeah,
sense?
it does.
So you understand the leap to start, right? And we didn't really see it as a leap. We were like, well, what other choice have we
Yeah,
got?
what
If
are
we
we
don't
gonna
do
do?
it, we're fucking average like everybody else. No thanks. So we took the leap to start. And then the hardest leap was then deciding to quit our job to do it online full time. Because you think, ever since Reese left college, he's always had a job. I've always had a job.
Yeah.
You've always had a job. So it's like, fuck, that's
It's a
risk,
different
man.
life.
It's
Yeah.
a risk. But if
Yeah.
we don't, but then like you said, if you don't take that risk, guys, if we don't take this risk, then what if it doesn't work because you didn't take that risk, right?
Yeah.
And you got to think of all these things. And yeah, again, I can't think of any risk that hasn't ever paid off for us. And you think we've took hundreds of risks. I don't think any risk has never paid off because we've always put the work in.
Yeah.
Because it isn't just take a risk and it all
It's
fall
not a
into place.
blind risk. We wouldn't ever take a blind risk and just be like, everything is like a calculated risk that, you know, if you do that, then you've got to do this. It's not just like putting 100 grand on red, is it? Like we don't do things like that.
I think the best investment we've made in business is, and again, this is a model that a model that works really well even today. Is you start with dropshipping, you test the demand, you see what works, what doesn't work, and then you take that to a whole new level in white or private labeling that product, right? So you improve the quality of the product because white private labels usually better supplies, quicker shipping times. More customizations, so you can modify the product, which makes it more unique to anything out there on the market. That's the best investment we ever make, was that transition. Well, the best investment we ever made was in ourselves, period, right? In learning a new skill set, putting ourselves around the right people. But in business, it was transitioning from drop shipping into white labeling. That was the best transition because our margins went up. So our profit margins increased. Our shipping times were, I think it was like 7 days max back then. The quality of the product was better, so our retention rate went up, our average order value went up, and our business just scaled. We had the same amount of customers coming through to our business, but we were 2xing in terms of revenue because of the amount of traffic that kept coming back and buying again and buying again and buying again. Our email campaigns were incredible. I think at one point we had a 30% conversion rate from email campaigns. Obviously, in this day and age, it's a little bit more rare to get that type of conversion rate because the amount of companies that spam you with email. And how busy people's phones are now as well with all these different apps. So, I think the best investment we've ever made in business is that transition. And we see that a lot with members. Members come in and they join the inner circle and they go, do you know what? I want to go in minimal risk in my first business. I want to start with this. I want zero outlay. Reese, shout out to yourself. Incredible job with the members right now with the whole print on demand exclusive suppliers. Nobody else has access to. You've got it. You're giving it to the members and they've got zero outlay. And they basically got a private labeled product, right? With zero outlay. So, when they transition into actually ordering the stock, once they've built up a 5-figure a month income, whatever, that will be the best investment they've ever made, besides joining us and learning the skill and getting themselves around us. Yeah. That's the best investment you can make in e-commerce, is going from an existing business model like dropshipping and taking it to a whole new fucking level with white and private labeling. If you start with white and private labeling, then the best investment you're going to make there is into people to run your business. So that will be virtual assistants, which will automate the majority of your business.
I was about to say that, VAs.
Marketing consultants like Anthony. Shout out to Anthony, our marketing consultant. Incredible. They're the best investments that you're going to make in business, depending on where you are.
I think especially with us, like me personally, best investments made in business, I would personally say VAs. Because looking at like the operation that we run within e-commerce, all the stores, 30 plus stores, there's more coming. I can't stop, sorry. But I'll
notice.
But with the stores though, it's like, that we would definitely not be in a position to even consider building another store if we've got, 30 bloody stores to run.
Yeah.
It's just impossible because like it is it's a lot to do. Like fulfilling orders, as an example, that alone, if you've done 500 orders one day, that's going to take you a good 30 minutes to an hour to do. And then you've got customer emails, people emailing in inquiries, can I get a discount if I order 5, all of this stuff. You've got to reply back to the emails. I still hate using AI for that sort of stuff. I prefer the human touch, but you've got all of that. You've then got your competitor research. You've then got, tweaking the store. You've got looking at your ads. You've got, optimizing your ads. You've got everything there. So I think we wouldn't even be able to teach people if we didn't have VAs. I don't even think that would be an option. We would just be so focused on our stores. Whereas with the VAs, it's allowed us to automate them stores, build more stores, automate them stores. We've got a nice process going on with the team that we've got there, but also with all that additional time, it's like we can teach others how to do this. Because it isn't, like, in my opinion, it's not rocket science. It is generally common sense and a bit of research. That's generally what you really need to being able to, people wanting to do the same thing, change their lives, whether it's for personal gain or, a benefit in their family, whatever it is, to help themselves get that financial freedom. We are in such a great position to have an amazing team, an amazing community to be able to help anybody that is actually willing to do it. So I think that, in my opinion, is one of the best investments. VAs, absolutely love them, although we probably fired more than we've actually hired. But it's crazy. Let's move on to this is something that I want to chat about. So the biggest mistakes we've made. So starting off with bad supply decisions and stock mistakes. So there was one. I think they're still in one of our fulfillment centers. So
no, it's at my house.
Oh, is it at your house?
Yeah.
Oh, this might be something.
Constantly moving it here, there, everywhere. I'm like, fuck, I've got all this stock here.
Oh no, this might be something else then. Okay. Maybe we've made a few. Oh, whoops. But do you remember the headphone business? And I think I ordered like 1,000 of these headphones from the supplier, and they were meant to be like aircraft grade materials, like super good. And I remember I put one on my head when they arrived. And this cost tens of thousands of dollars. One arrived, I was so excited to try them. They're meant to be better than Apple, all of that. Put them on my head, pulled it down, and it was just glued plastic, and it snapped. And I had one headphone in my hand, and the wire was hanging out, and I thought all I could hear through it was like, tss. And I was like, fuck, and I was like, throw it off and stuff like that. And I looked at all the boxes that got delivered, and I was like, shit. So the mistake there, the lesson learned is test your product. Get a sample.
Order a sample. Don't look at things like aircraft grade. And it's just some guy.
You were wowed by the buzzwords.
I was, I got sold.
Yeah. I think mistakes is something that some of them were avoidable if we had the right mentoring. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because there wasn't any channel where we could ask a question. There wasn't any channel. It was watch some videos, right? That's why we do what we do with Change Now. We make sure you've got channels and you can jump on calls and Zoom. Yeah. I think half of our mistakes were avoidable with the right support, right? So the whole order a sample. Our members know well to order a sample. Mm-hmm. You never made that mistake. That's like a newbie mistake, right?
Yeah.
Just taking the supplier's word for it. Advertising mistakes was a big one for us. So again, we used to run ads not realizing that we need to run ads based on data. Actually, it's the same mistake that I see everybody make in 2026, right? That aren't members. They're like, oh yeah, I'll just go and run some ads. I'll just go on Google, make some ads, and I'll make loads of money. Basic store, basic advertising, massive mistakes. We had to learn through our own research, because we didn't have that support, that we need to run ads based on data, right? And the data wasn't as good back then as it is now with AI and looking at people's demographics, interests, behaviors, and then using that data to then target specific audiences. We were testing a bunch. We would type in the audience we want to target, and then we'd make notes of it. Do you remember? Yeah. That's the audience, right?
Yeah.
And then if it didn't work, we would then go create a new audience, and then we'll try different keywords. But then we start mixing up the keywords so we don't create the same audiences. And then if one would click, we'd leave it.
Yeah.
Do you remember? So we then started to learn that we need to test our ads, because I think the biggest mistake we made, in e-commerce, is we'd run the ads and we'd go, the store isn't good enough.
Yeah.
But it's the ads, it's the wrong audience.
Yeah.
And we'd go make a change to the store, still no progression.
But not change the audience, just change the store.
Yeah, we go, well, we got a dog store, we'll target people that have dogs. It's got to work. Not realizing that they're being spammed with dog ads probably 100 times a day. And what separates us to anybody else that they've
That's
seen
it.
before us today. It's
Yeah.
no. So I think we made a lot of mistakes of ads. And we constantly persevered, and we were like, okay, why isn't it working? And we started to reach out to other people that were in the e-com space, and I think again we were slowly rewiring our brain and learning how advertising works. It's not as simple as run some ads. So I think that was a massive mistake, and then trusting the wrong people was a big one very early on, right?
Yeah.
We were like, oh, you in e-com, come over here.
Yeah.
You in e-com, come over here. Oh, what, you could do this for our business. Here's some money. And, we got scammed on Fiverr with an email. So there was a guy who said, oh, I've got like a 90% open rate on my emails. I'll promote your store and your products in my emails. And then what we found on our website is we were getting all of newsletters. We were getting all of these email signups. And I was like, fucking hell, we had 300 in one evening.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How stupid was we to believe that though?
Yeah.
We had 300 in one evening. And I'm like, fuck, we're going global. This was Canada, the US, fucking, when you could track the IPs and that, where it's the traffic's coming from. And I'm like, we fucking made it. And we're high-fiving. I think we ordered the Domino's that night. And we didn't make one sale.
Yeah,
just emails.
Should have kept that money from the Domino's.
I'm like, we're gonna send out an email campaign to these guys.
And then everyone will buy.
And then we sent out an email campaign and we didn't have one person purchase. And I'm like, that's a bit weird. They've all shown interest. That was a really good fucking incentive for you to come through and buy one of our products. Okay, cool. So we paid the guy again. 300 quid was a lot of money for us. We didn't have that, right? And we paid the guy again. Can you send out another blast of emails to your people? So then this time we get 500. I'm like, fucking all up to 1,000 in the last 2 and up. We got 1,000 emails, Tami, Reese, on our fucking store. This is going to blow. Anyway, we get to about 1,500 quid in total with this guy. And then
not one person's bought.
And then, not one person's bought. And then we saw a review on his Fiverr account that said that they were bots. They were not real emails coming through. He'd scammed them. And then I think I saw another review somewhere else. I was like, are you fucking joking? We're 1,500 quid deep, right? That could have went into our ads, which would have generated us at least $2,000 back or $3,000 back, right? And we'd lost that. And we trusted the wrong person.
Yeah.
And again, I think good for our members that they don't really get these issues, right? I don't wish this on anyone. And I think, anybody that does that type of shit are scumbags. Like, you're literally a scumbag, yeah? So, but we had to learn the hard way. And this is something that, I don't really often say it, but I look at members and I think you're so fucking lucky that you're not going through what we had to go through to get to where we are. Yeah. We're literally shortcutting your journey. Because you're not going to get scammed. Because members, if they go find someone, they always message me or you or you. Check. And they go, Ryan, what do you think? And the amount of messages I get, damn, like, no, that's a scam. Don't fucking do that. And I'm like, we didn't have that. I was like, 300 quid. So we're about 1,500 quid in and going, hang on a minute, we've got over 1,000 emails and not one person's bought. Something's wrong here. How? Or is our store just that shit? Do you know what I mean? But then they wouldn't enter their email. Yeah. So we learned a lot of lessons. We made a lot of mistakes early on. People don't see that. People just see that.
There's a lot though, even in obviously that's going way back. It's a lot harder, especially with no experience. Who can you trust? Everyone looks great. Do you know what I mean in that sense? But even in fast forward into 2026, it's still quite hard to figure out who to trust, especially as I think for us it's quite fairly straightforward. And we've got a network of people that we use often. We've got years and years and years of good relationships with them and stuff. But as a newcomer, someone looking at getting into something, what I notice is even on our own brands, social medias and stuff like that, the amount of people that try to reach out. Oh, let me SEO your store, or let me run your ads, or let me create content, or send me your free product, or create you some UGC. And then you've got all these other people who are join me. I've got a massive community, and we do e-commerce, or we do Forex, and all of this. And then you look at it, and it's just it's a one-man army. It's like, well, where's your community?
Do you know one thing I don't like, and I'm seeing a lot on Instagram now? The random reels, they pop up on my feed. I don't know who they are, but I guess the algorithm thinks I'm interested. It's the people that badmouth other people.
Yeah.
To get follows, interests, or get people to buy into them. I hate that shit. Like I've always said.
That's the opposite of what you should do if you actually want someone to join you. Talking bad about someone else
But I feel sorry.
Are you going to trust them?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
But I feel sorry for the people falling for it.
Yeah.
Like, you just think like...
But that's what I mean. You must be that type of person to go off the back of something negative.
Yeah.
Like, if you join someone off the back of something negative, that sums up what your experience will be like.
So I come across a reel. Have you seen him? He's called Ginge something on Instagram. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Angry
He's on
Ginge.
Instagram. He's so... No, that's Ginge something, but he's such an angry guy. And this is just how he markets, I guess. And he come up on a reel a couple of days ago, maybe. And he come up on a reel and he's saying, do not trust mentors. And I'm like, red flag straight away. The richest people in the world have mentors. Okay. Don't trust mentors. They all tell you this. I found it out by having a mentor. They took all this money. And I'm thinking they're giving people this, like, mentors are bad. And I'm like, wait. He's going to sell. Wait. And then he goes at the end, but my 7-day free trial. And I'm like, for fuck's sake. How do people falling for this? Just DM the word this. And he had 2 comments. I was like, okay. Yeah. But it's like, it's so sad because there's so much shit out there that you've got to be aware of your surroundings. You've got to be aware of, hang on a minute, I can see through you. I think the biggest red flag for me is when people are forcing a free trial down your throat. That screams they need your money. They're desperate. And you see a lot of this shit on Instagram and people fall for it. And I feel sorry for it. I just think you're fucking idiots. Yeah. Like, even back then when I first started, there was like Forex traders going, I'll give you a demo account with 500 quid on it for free. And I'm like, I can read between the lines. Why are you going to give me 500 quid for free? Why are you giving me some people that you don't know something for free, right? I'm all about providing value. I'll provide you value for free, but I'm not going to try and get you in somewhere and then upsell you after getting you in somewhere that you got in for free. It's just read between the lines. These people need your money. So it's the people that actually offer support, value, have real teams, real communities. They're the people who actually have real businesses making money. Yeah. It's the people that say they offer a free trial and they offer... Who the fuck has time to sit there with every single person, right? I'm interested. Yeah, do you want to have an hour phone call? How are you successful? Yeah. If you can have an hour phone call with someone that isn't even a member yet. Yeah. But you can sit there and have a 1-hour phone call with someone. Yeah. That's red flags for me straight away, right?
As well, touching on that sort of stuff. So where I live, that there was a guy and he was driving around in an Audi R8. And I think I don't know what I was doing. I was like at one of the shops and I got back in my car and this was the old Mustang. That's currently sat on the drive, not being driven. But he approached me and he was like, "Oh, bro, like sick car and stuff." He was like, "We should get some like content of the cars." I was like, "Yeah." Like, so he added me on Instagram. I think we met up like a couple of weeks later to get some content, and he basically said like, "So what is it that you do?" And I was like, "Oh, so like I'm in e-commerce. I mentor people as well, teach people how to do e-commerce." Then I proposed the same question to him, and I was like, "What do you do?" He's like, "Oh, I'm in Forex." And straight away, I hate Forex. 99% is generally not legit. So I said to him, I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "So what do you do?" And he's like, "I teach people how to do Forex." And then he was like, "If you tell me how e-commerce works, I might be interested in it." And straight away, I was like, "Yeah, I'm happy to do that." I was like, "But first, tell me how, you make your money. How does Forex work?" So we sat there and he was basically telling me that, like the demo account. So you would join him, you would pay him 500 quid to join. That 500 quid then automatically goes instantly. So, he gets maybe like 200 quid and then the guy above him gets the £300. You now get presented with a demo account. You go into that demo account. That demo account isn't real trading. It's rigged to make you win on your trades.
Oh, I've heard this before, actually.
Yeah, I might have said it to you. So, these people are here thinking like, "Oh, right, wow, yeah, I've made, £1,000 this week, or I've made £2,000. And this is the same shit you see these people post in their stories. The same shit. Like, "Oh, I've won on this trade today, 500 billion% up. I'm a multi-trillionaire now." It's a load of shit. It's demo. Anyway, by the time you get to a point where you've made like 20 grand on your demo account, it's then like, right, now we'll open your real account and we'll give you some money in there. It's a second tiered demo account. That money doesn't exist. So it gets to a point, you might have £1,000 or £2,000 in there. Try and withdraw it. Try and withdraw that money, because watch what they'll say. "Oh, the withdrawal cap is at 5k. If you deposit 3k, you can then withdraw all of it. You're burning and losing money." So it's like all these people out there are desperate for your money. One thing that I'm glad that I never ever do is chase people. If people come to me and they're interested in e-commerce, cool, I will reply to you. I take the time out. I reply to 100% of, anybody that messages me. But if you open my message and you listen to it, or you reply to, you don't reply to it and you leave it there, I'm not chasing you. I essentially, like personally, I gain nothing from you join change whatsoever. I'm busy running my businesses and teaching the people that want to change.
I think it's important to understand also there is some great mentoring programs out there as well.
Yeah, right? There's a lot.
I've networked with a lot of people and they're truly changing people's lives. Right? So I think there is some great programs out there. We're not the only program, but I do believe there isn't anybody doing what we do. And this ain't a sales pitch, by the way. For anyone listening, we're not selling to you, we're just being honest. This conversation we have behind closed doors. There's some great people out there as well, but there's also a lot of shit. So it's just doing your due diligence and finding, again, you need to, I think, connecting with the right person is probably more important than anything else. I feel like if you feel, do you know what? I love Ryan, Reese, Tami, but I kind of resonate with that person more. Like I kind of feel, he's got the value that he can provide me, then I would say go to him and not us. I'll always be honest with you because, again, we don't need to buy. So I'll always be honest. I don't think you should join someone because somebody has a Lambo or somebody has this thing that you want. I think you need to make sure that they can provide you value. You got to make sure that they actually live the life that you want to live, because a lot of people are fake and a lot of people will show you this lifestyle that don't exist. That's why they're just walking their dog all the time, because they don't have anything. They got nothing to show, right? So I think it's important that they do have the results to back up, and they're the people that you should join. Right. So I think as much as you say there's shit, 100%. And again, I think most people are idiots that fall for it anyway. It's just, some of it's so fucking obvious. There's just guys there sitting, literally every story's there, watch, oh, nice 150K day today. And people were DMing them going, how do I join, mate? I'd love to make 150K a day. And it's like, fucking, what planet do these guys live on? And I don't lose any energy there. I think you have to be realistic. You have to go into something with a long-term goal. Understand get rich quick schemes don't exist. And if it did, everybody would do it, right? I think you have to be real. As much as something that you just got to step back and go, wow, hang on a minute. Okay, yes, I can see you can make 100 grand a month or $500,000 a million a month. But I can also see that guy has grafted for 3 years to get to $500,000 a month. Or that guy's grafted for a whole year to get to his 10K a month, right? From no experience. You have to look at the long-term goal. And I think if you're really short-minded and you have that mindset of I need to make money now because I've lost my job, you're always going to get scammed. Or you'll go into something legit and it just won't work because you're going in with I need to change my life in 2-3. Yeah. So I think it's important to understand that.
Or even if you're like the one thing that and we get a very small percentage of people that do this, like or even from what I see like on the outside, is like people are a part of like community number 1. They're a part of that and they're with that for like 6 months, and then they decide to join community number 2 at the same time. And then they're like, oh wow, like this is great, and then they join community number 3, and then it fucking goes to 4 and 5, and it's like, come on man, like at this point, like the way you need to look at it is, and like literally what you said, go with something that resonates with you most, because I would hate for someone to, come through and want us to teach them, but in the back of their mind, they're like, oh, I really wanted to join that guy. Look, just leave us, go join that guy if that's what you want.
So a perfect example, is when I was really studying marketing, right? And there was a guy that I really wanted to join, right? He had really good Facebook results, and that's what I was focused on. He did a bit of Google. But there was another guy that I just resonated with a little bit more. I just thought, what a guy, and I did my due diligence. There was about 10 guys, and 8 of them was like load of shit, load of scams. Not scams, but they ain't got the value. I don't care. It's irrelevant whether I like you. You haven't got the value to provide me. You've got to have both, right? It's not, I just like you, let's go. Because you see that a lot. You'll see someone join someone because they like each other and they're buddies. Oh, go both foul together then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you see that often, and you guys probably know who we're talking about. Go foul together. Good luck. We'll see where you are in a year from now. So I think you need to understand that they got to have value, and you got to look at them as someone as in I'd like to work with that person, right? Because of the way they talk or the way they present themselves or the value that they're going to provide me every single day. Like I think
it's always a case of what can this person bring to the table? And I know friendships are great, all of that, but at the end of the day, you're here to do fucking business, man. Do you want your business to work or not? Why did you join? That's the ultimate goal. So it's like, wow, I get on with this person so much, but they're not going to bring anything to the table. Whereas, if I put that time and energy into this person, person who, whether we get on or not, like you got to kind of get on, but as long as you're not fucking enemies, if they can bring something to the table and you can, maybe offer them something as well, sweet, let's work together.
Yeah.
You build that relationship.
Well, you think remember, so sometimes, like, I'm just being truthful, I jump on a call with a member, we go through business, I think, what a guy. But is he someone that I'd hang around with? Probably not. His interests are a little bit different to me. I'm not the perfect person, but I'm going to help you get from A to B.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? I can provide that value. I think let's talk about why we started mentoring just quickly, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because I think a lot of people...
It's a very common question, isn't it?
Yeah, why did we start mentoring? And I don't want to fill people with shit on this podcast with, we started mentoring because it was a passion of ours and we fucking loved helping people.
We're going to be honest, guys.
Yeah,
all right?
Yeah. Send your emails in.
Yeah, there we go.
We started because we wanted to make more money. We all agree on that, right? We were underpaid, overworked, didn't want to work for somebody else. Never to go of, we never even had a conversation about it. And then as we become successful and I started using social media more, I bought my first Lambo, I started posting it. We were inundated with, I was inundated because I was doing most of the posting with messages about, what did you do? Congratulations. But that's when the algorithm back then on Instagram was fantastic, right? You had 1,000 followers and you get 700 views. Now you got 1,000 followers, you get 25 views, right? That's how it is. And you post a picture and you've gained 200 new followers because it was a picture of a Lambo or a picture of you on a beach. So I was getting all of this interest and people were wasting my time. I was jumping on calls and I thought, and I started to find a bit of a passion. When I was on a call, you'd be like, fucking hell, Ryan, that was 2 hours you was on that call. I didn't need to do this.
Where's he gone?
I'm not charging.
Run off.
Yeah, I'm not charging any money. I haven't got any training. I didn't even think about any training. I thought, I'll help you out, mate. You seem like a decent guy. I appreciate your messages. I see you got a family like me. That's why I started.
Yeah.
See, I had something similar to that as well. So like when obviously I had social media like Instagram and stuff, and I never really used it. It was more of like a gym thing back then, very back then, and it was like, I think I went on holiday to Greece or something. What are you laughing at? Way back then.
No, videographer in the background was laughing.
Oh, was he? What are you laughing at, mate?
Go on.
A bit conscious now, guys. So yeah, I went on holiday to Greece and I had this like big villa in the hills and stuff like that. And there was one evening, I think I had, there was like a chef there that was like cooking steaks and all of this, sat there on my laptop and stuff. And I was like, I haven't been on Instagram in ages. I was quite bored, to be fair. So I like put something up and stuff and I had the store loaded and it was on sort of like sales and all of that. Put that in my story, and ever since I did that, it's probably kind of a mistake back then. Obviously, it's good now, but the messages that came through from people that knew of me or people that just followed me or friends and stuff like that, and they're like, "Bloody hell, Reese, I didn't know like you were doing that. That's insane." And then, like what you said, of all the questions, people were like, "Let's catch up when you're back," or "What are you doing?" and stuff like that. And I think the passion there for me was like, I never thought that I'd be teaching people. So back then it was like, if you want to do something like this, you need to do this, do that, like go check that website out. This is my store. And then there was 70% of people were like, yeah, I'll get on it. And you never fucking hear from them. But, the small percentage of people that actually gave it a go, like, the thing that I enjoyed was like, I wouldn't speak to them for like 2 weeks. They'd come back and be like, oh, look, so I've set this up so far. What do you think of it? And I'd go on there and the store would look half decent. So I'm looking at that like, yeah, that's not bad. But look, have a look at this, like make sure you do this and stuff. So I think all like that, I enjoyed doing that.
I had the complete opposite though. I had people waste my fucking time non-stop. And then, and I did, again, like I had passion in showing people, but we're that way inclined. When you think about it, like when you come around my house, you always have you seen this, Ryan? You always want to teach me something because that's just how Reese is, and I'm the same. I'm always like, look at this, Tami, look, and I'm always sending you stuff, and I'm always trying to like educate and teach. I think it's just built into us as people.
It's because you get excited, you learn something new, and you're like, oh, that could help that person, or like you want to share it.
I think you're either built that way or you're not.
Yeah.
But again, that didn't make us go, I want to mentor, right? Again, we'll be bullshitting people because a lot of people go on to Instagram and they go, I'm passionate about helping others. I'm passionate about changing lives. That's why I did this. And in some cases, it'll be genuine, right? But in a lot of cases, it's just to make that reason on why they mentor, because I'm so passionate. No, you're passionate about making money, right? With us, it's slightly different. And my situation was different to yours. So I didn't really get any of that. I don't think I had anyone who got to a point.
I was sending them your way.
Yeah, well, I didn't get anyone to build in a store. And that's when we had that conversation. I said, Reese, like, I've got all these people interested. They're wasting my fucking time. Because we were talking about building, I think it was our third store or fourth store, can't remember. And I said, all these people are wasting my time because we were talking about the time we're going to put in and all that. And then you then come up just off the top of your head, you didn't even think, and you was like, why don't we just build a system and charge for our time, right? If people, rather than wasting your time, they go through the system, we'll have some videos in there that will teach them. And I wasn't all for it because of Forex at the time was rampant, people being scammed. But then we eventually, cut long story short, went ahead and was like, right, cool. So when people would then message me when I post, I'm like, mate, there we go, 99 quid, I think we were charging at the time. But it was more are you committing or not? We weren't we're not trying to make money from you. You need to pay for this, but we weren't offering any personal support at the beginning.
Yeah.
Then I think we had like 20 people take action over the course of 2-3 months. And I was like, okay, these people are actually action takers. Like, they're putting their money where their mouth is. They do want to do what I do. So go for that. And then we extended the training a bit more, added a bit more. And then we started throwing in some personal support because people were like, what do I do here? And I was like, do you know what? No, you've committed. I'm going to fucking help you. And I jump on the call and and the difference in people. Wow.
Yeah.
That would these people were like, right, okay, 1 second, Ryan, I'm just writing this down while I'm on a call. And I'm like, I never had that in probably the 30 calls I had before we launched the system. Wow. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Take your time, mate. And he's writing it down. And I'm like, the quality in people, and I never knew the difference. I just thought everybody would want to be successful.
Yeah,
everybody is going to put the work in. But hang on a minute, I had fucking 10 calls in the last 3 days. Where are they all gone? Because if somebody jumped on a call with me that was smashing it, fuck me, I'm like, mate, I'm coming back to you in a week. What's the space?
Yeah.
Why aren't they built? And then you just don't realise that people aren't built that way,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But it's a different it's a different type of person that financially commits versus someone who doesn't financially commit, right? The people that want everything for free, they're not the people that I want to help.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They're not willing to put the work in.
I ain't got time for that shit, right? Yeah. If you're willing to financially commit, let's fucking go. That speaks volumes, right? I mean, it reminds me of when I used to be a chef and the manager would go, thank you so much for today. I'm now off 2 hours before me. I'm now off. And I'm thinking, show me a thank you in my fucking paycheck, right? Yeah, that thank you don't mean shit, right? And it's the same as people on the outside. I want to change my life. No disrespect to anyone, right? I know there's people that some people can't afford it, but it don't mean shit. Action speaks louder than words to me. And when you financially commit, I go, okay, you're serious. Let's go. Right. And that's why we started. When Reese mentioned it, I was like, yeah, let's do it. It was just to eliminate time waste. It was never to build what we've built today. And we've just gone with it. Yeah. And we've enjoyed the ride. Absolutely. Yeah. And we've improved and we've made mistakes. We've never been a mentor before. Right. And we've gone along the way and wow. Tell me one community like this. And that, again, I'm not selling to anyone. This is me being transparent, right? Wow.
I think that's why the community is the way it is because of how those early days and like people coming through, like you say, the ones that were like wanting to commit, they put some money into it and they were being more successful. And that's grown along with like more people joining us. We've brought more team members in to give more value. And that's why the community is the way it is. And because of how like you guys were, because you two spoke to most people back before we had a team and wanting to genuinely help people, the community is the same. I have never been in another type of community. Like I've joined courses in the past or when I've worked places in the past, I've never been in a room full of people and people want to help each other. Like people are
Alien.
Like, yeah. People be like, no, I'm not showing her this because like that might help her. Like you be in a room, like at one of our events, everyone's helping each other. They could be doing the same product and someone would be saying, you should do this for your brand. I'm doing this with my brand, like literally showing them everything. Yeah. Like it's amazing.
I think one of the best parts of what we do as well. And I think this is what's just made us popular. And it's not even like we've tried to do it. I think it's just in all of our freeze nature, essentially. Yeah. It's having that no BS approach. Like, you know, that there's like even from early on, you know, when I used to get random people building stores and send them to me, if it looked crap, I'm going to tell you it's crap. Yeah. Or like, you know, the top part looks great, but your product pages are horrendous. Like, sort them out. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like, even like up until now, you know, we get people that come through, they build a store, it's their first ever store. Like, obviously, you know, we're not expecting anything crazy good. But if they send it to us, we're not going to be like, oh yeah, like, you know, well done, you've done really good on your first attempt. I look at that and I'm like, mate, it's not even fucking done. Yeah. Like, go spend a few more hours on it and bring it back.
Telling people the truth rather than what they want to hear.
Yeah, that's real. That's it. And
I've never wanted to be a person that jumps on social media and has to put on a different character, a different act. I've never wanted to be a different, like, oh, we've got an event today. Come on, Ryan, fix up. I don't want to be that person. I am who I am. If you don't like me, I don't care, right? If they don't like Reese, who cares, right? This is who we are. And I think that we're losing that in the online space.
Yeah.
The authenticity is going, it's disappearing. And I feel like there's real opportunity there. And that ain't just for you as a person. I think you as a brand. I think if you can show that you're authentic, you genuinely care about your customer service, like you give a fuck, right? That's going to, you will be the best in your industry. You will, because we're losing that. And again, as much as AI is great, and I highly recommend using that, we're losing that due to technology, due to people just focusing on volume, right? Your best customers are the customers that you already have. Focus,
Yeah.
you know, and be you. Just be you. Stop trying to be someone you're not. Stop trying to put on an act. Stop going, fuck, cameras on. Here we go. You know what I mean? Just be you. And I think that's what we're losing. And I connect with real people. I hate that shit. You know, you go on Instagram, it's like, oh,
you can tell when someone's fake as well. And this is what I mean. When you get people out there that are trying to be somebody else, I'd see that and be like, well, I might as well follow the person you're trying to be, because do you know what I mean? It's going to be a better version of you.
But they don't follow me.
No, that's it. Yeah. Right, guys, let's do a little task. So we'll start with you, Ryan. So if you lost everything today, no community, no e-commerce brands, no businesses whatsoever, no network as well, everything gone. If you had £1,000 on this table right now, what would you do? Where would you start?
In all honesty, but I'd still have my experience.
Yeah, knowledge.
Okay, cool. I'm sorted then. I'm very confident in my skills that I've acquired over the years, that I could go from nothing to a solid 6 figures a month in 6 months. And I'm very confident. I actually said this to my mum.
My mom as well.
Yeah.
Same mom.
I said yesterday, and she was at my house. I said, like, if I lost everything, I'm so confident in my skill that I could not only build something, but scale it so fast that I would get to 6 figures a month within 6 months. Super confident. I know I could do it, right? And I said that to mum yesterday at my house. So that's behind the scenes.
Our house.
My mum.
Oh, come on, guys, cut me some slack here, okay? I'm in the zone, all right?
Sorry.
I've got my videographer laughing in the background.
Yours.
Ours.
So I would, with the £1,000, cut a long story short, I would build a store. I would use my experience to build my own brand. I would use AI to build out my content. I would use one of your UK-based suppliers. I know you say no network. If I didn't have access, I'll go do my due diligence.
You'd search online and find them, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Yeah. But I'd use a UK-based supplier, but I'd position a product correctly. I'd understand what it takes to build a brand. I wouldn't cut any corners. I'd have the 10 essential things that you need in a store for it to work. And then I'd probably opt in for free advertising to begin with, right? Rather than paid, because I've got £1,000 to play with. So I'm very confident in my paid advertising skills, 100%. But I would go with free advertising for 2 months because I'd want to do some trial and error. And if that starts to pay, I would reinvest that capital into paid advertising. Now, after 2 months, if it's kind of not making me profit, but I'm doing, say, 5 sales a day, and but my other costs for my emails or my Shopify, I would then go look at paid advertising. But that, again, these are just stupid ins and outs. I'm going too far in here. I'm getting carried away. That's what I would do. I'd invest it into what I already know. And that's what I love about having a good, high-paid skill set is you could lose everything. You could wake up and you've lost everything, right? And for whatever reason, I don't know, it rarely happens. But if you did, your wealth and everything that you have, it lays in the skill set that you have. And also the network you have. You say you lose all your network, that isn't realistically ever going to happen. But the wealth that you have will always lay within those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. That's interesting. To be fair, I probably would have. Yeah,
I can't top that answer, so don't ask me.
Oh, come on. All right. So, we'll start with me. We'll come back to you. You're not getting away with this. So, £1,000 on the table right here. I think £100 straight away. Go out, have some nice foods. Really plan everything out. That's £100 gone.
Cinema, shopping.
Cinema, yeah, maybe. Nah, I think what I would focus on is I would be looking at all of come up with like a brand idea, like something maybe that's already, well, majority of stuff's already been done, but look at a brand idea that's popular, that's doing well, and then see how and I'm probably losing the moral values here, but kind of similar to like what we've done with 11 Labs. So a lot of people always wonder why 11 Labs. So the whole idea here, and this is exactly what I would do with this new brands that I'd look at. So 11 Labs is technically, and we're going to get copyright issues and everything here. It's fine though. But there's already in America, there's a massive company called 11 Labs, but the number is spelled out 11. And they're so popular in the AI space right now. Everybody is using them over in the States. They go into massive events with like influencers. They're being tagged, all of that. So that for me, and it's morally wrong, I know, don't DM me. We designed 11 Labs so that people would mistakenly tag our brand and help us grow our brand for the wrong reasons. And I've had so many, like even.
You know this? No,
yeah,
I didn't.
Yes,
I'm looking in disappointment behind the cameras.
It works, guys. So yeah, we're getting like random tags. So we had like an influencer, I think it was like last week, about 700k followers, tag 11 Labs. But they're at when you watch their story, they're at an event and there's like AI stalls and all of this. So we're like, sweet, free traffic. So like it's just using like little things like that to build a brand. So
that's actually a really well known strategy in e-commerce.
Yeah,
competitors do that.
Yeah, it's good and it works obviously. But just doing like little things like that. So I would try and focus on the brands that we can try and blow up. Kind of like a viral brand. So instead of going through that marketing, because obviously with £1,000, I'd kind of want to invest the majority of that into making everything look good. So like what we've gone over. So I kind of like, you normally don't need that much to build a store whatsoever, but I think I would prefer to get some samples, like all of the branded samples with that money, get the real good content with that, and also be in a position to maybe, if we do get people with like, decent followers, micro influencers, normal influencers, send them a free product and say, look, can you tag us at the same time? So you're using, instead of you paying for the marketing, you're using everybody else who has those audiences to promote your brand. So that way you can kind of drive massive volumes of traffic. But the second you start making a profit, that goes straight into paid marketing. Start kickstarting all of that, and all the customers that are coming through the influencers, all that customer data, I would kind of export that and create some lookalike audiences and really hammer the paid ads to grow that brand quick.
What would you do with £1,000 quickly, Tami, and then we'll have a break?
I would put a lot of money to hold a sick event that loads of high net worth people would want to come to because we've lost our network. And then I would network.
How would you get the network there?
By making it a sick event.
Okay, cool. Through DMs, through...
Yeah. And they would want to come.
Yeah.
It's like, kind of like how, who was it? Jarul.
Oh, yeah.
The Fire Festival.
Oh, God.
That kind of thing.
I went to that. That was amazing.
I'd make it look like the best thing ever, like Fire Festival.
Yeah, I highly recommend.
And then I'd grow my network.
That's interesting. So you could reach out to all these high network people and be like, oh, we've got so-and-so coming. They're like, oh, wow, like, yeah, I'll be there. Then you got to reach out to these people and be like, oh, we've got so-and-so coming.
Yeah,
you could. Yeah, that's how you
like that.
Easy to build it. Yeah. It's more, building a network's more accessible than ever.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's take a break.
On that note.
And we'll be back.
Sounds good.